it was in the 30s this morning.
That's cold in Florida.
And people are going crazy. It's so bad. I actually lost power a few times today.
Wow.
And it's only in the 30s.
Yeah, I mean, that's when you start getting the iguanas falling out of the trees. Like it starts raining iguanas when it gets to 30s. They're not dead, but they like get stunned, and you'll start hearing the pop, 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 and it's the iguanas falling out of the trees. And it may be a little bit too dark for this early in the evening, right?
It's pretty funny. My kids, they see the lizards, the little lizards, and how they're frozen, and they're like, Dad, like what's wrong with them? Strange. I'm sure you remember that when you were out here in Florida.
Yeah, I do, man. It actually had just hit like record lows around the time I had moved there in 2009, 2010. And yeah, it was wild, man. It was wild. People were like, you brought that up north cold with you, move back. Da, 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 da. Like, wow.
So all right, so let me grab this link. I apologize. I'm having issues with the live chat. I'll worry about that in a second. For whatever reason, it's not populating for me, but it is what it is. All right, let me grab this chat right here. I'm sorry, this link. And all right, so I'm getting it now. We'll officially start. So if anybody's in the chat, I'm sorry, I can't see the chat at the moment. I'm going to be sending out a tweet right now, so that way with the link, so that way people on Twitter can come and find us. All right, so Strange, talk to us, man. How you doing? How cold is it over there in New York right now?
Oh man, it's bloody out here right now.
It's pretty bad.
Don't let this T-shirt fool you, man. I haven't worn a T-shirt in a long time, man. It's been hoodie and layer season for a minute, but
if it's 30 in Florida, you know it's cold in New York. I don't even want to know.
Yeah, believe it or not, I mean, we've gone from like 12-degree highs to right now we're probably sitting at 40 actually for like the first time in 2 days, 3 days. So.
Holy moly. That's just too cold.
Yeah, it's been for real over here.
Yeah, man. I mean, I don't miss those days. That is for sure, man.
Beluga, where you at?
I'm in Virginia, but I actually live in Florida half the year. So, but I don't go to Florida if it's cold. Like that's the point of going to Florida. You don't go when it's cold to Florida. No, I'm not leaving here and going somewhere where it's colder, right? No, that's crazy.
Right.
Okay, awesome. I got the live chat. I got the tweet. The tweet went out. I wasn't for whatever reason. I put the YouTube link on the tweet, but it wasn't letting me put the picture. But whatever. Let me see. Oh, you know what? Let me try that again. Did you guys see the one I just sent out?
Yeah, I see it. It has like a.
Let me, you know what? Don't worry about that. Did you guys already retweet that one with the?
I did.
You did. Okay. You know what? Forget it. All right. We'll just leave it. We'll leave it at that. For whatever reason, my phone was acting crazy. Even the phones don't work when it gets cold in Florida. So, all right. So, real quick before we officially get started, we talk all things collectibles, digital NFTs, obviously, but we also talk about physical collectibles. And today, every time we have an interview, we have a physical collectible of the night. Today is a Joe Montana autograph card. Joe Montana, I remember growing up watching him play. A surgeon at what he did. I'm not a 49ers fan, but I respect what the man did while he played. So tonight's physical collectible item is a Joe Montana autograph card. Again, if you missed it, we're sitting down with Beluga Bay. he hosts a Twitter Spaces for other creators on that are creating NFTs on Polygon, but he has his own Polygon project. It's on. You can find it on Opensea. And matter of fact, I've got the chat going. I'll go ahead and pin that link, and we'll get that done here in a moment. So if you like free stuff, subscribe, join the Discord. Once this is up and the live is up and done, and it's just posted on YouTube, I'll have a link to the Discord. And, you know, again, if you like free stuff, subscribe, like, join the Discord, free Discord, all that good stuff. So, Beluga, the first question we're going to start off with is, where were your parents born?
My parents were born, I think my dad was born in Alabama, I want to say, which is a terrible place to be born, really. But he spent most of his life in Georgia. And I spent most of my life, early days in Georgia. And then my mom was born in West Virginia, which is another terrible place to be born. And I'm probably like alienating some of the people. No, they're beautiful places. And then they met in Atlanta, Georgia. And then I was born and I lived in Atlanta for 20 years. And then I moved to Virginia. So, yeah. So
you're in Virginia now?
Yeah. Virginia and Florida. I go between the two, depending on how cold it is. So,
what part of Florida, I have to ask?
I call it the Green Coast, but I go between Tampa and Ocala. So all up. I have two different properties that I live in with family there.
Funny, that's where I was at when I was living in Florida, Tampa, and I was all over that area, Ocala, Lutz, and all over. Man.
Yeah,
ended up where this guy lives over in Sanford. You know, I was getting around out there a little bit.
I don't need. Where is that, Sam?
Sanford,
Oh, Sanford. Yeah.
Orlando. But I was in a newly developing area. You might have heard of it. Just depends. I don't know. It's called Wesley Chapel.
No.
A lot of Northerners over there.
I just remember that there's a strip in Florida that's literally all the villages. Like it's like, I don't know, 40 miles of the villages. Have you guys have heard of that place?
Yeah, of course.
It's freaking huge.
Yeah.
So it's like 45 miles of senior citizens. It's so I don't know how big they are into collectibles there, but maybe I'm sure there's some collectibles there. Who knows? But
man, you'd be surprised. Some stuff that maybe I'm not interested in, but
yeah,
you know, I remember I had a job years ago where I would have to go into people's homes and you know, like work on like equipment or whatever that they had. And I remember whenever I saw somebody that was older, you know, I would say maybe above 60, they oftentimes had like some old school stuff, like old school trains and whatnot.
I'm saying they're probably not like busting out the Yu-Gi-Oh, right?
Oh, heck no, yeah.
Or the Pokemon cards. No, you're not good. Maybe some Mickey Mantles, but not, you know.
Yeah. So, all right. So going along those lines, you know, we're talking collectibles, you know, Mickey Mantles and stuff. So, all right. So what toys did you play with as a kid growing up?
Well, I'm a late 70s, early 80s kid. So Star Wars pretty much ruled the roost. G.I. Joe, like the big G.I. Joe kit with the like
grip.
What's that?
He said the Kung Fu grip, man.
Yep. I had the big G.I. Joes with the kind of like mottled beard kind of thing, which was, looking back on that, it was really kind of crazy. But the smaller figures and the giant bases, I just remember my granddad didn't know me really that well. He lived like 45 minutes north of us, and we only saw him at Christmas. But he got me like the crazy GI Joe command center, like the one that had the lifts in it, you know, and
had the rockets at the top.
Yeah, that thing was amazing. And so I think GI Joe and Star Wars were my, like, up until the point it was probably embarrassing for me to have kids over. I had you know, like the full on Hoth set up, and kids would come over and kind of joke on me because I was too old to have Hoth, like with the Tauntauns and the Han Solos. And
see, man, it's a shame you didn't know me, because I would have been the one friend that would have been over there. It's like, yes, we need to get more stuff.
and my sister would buy my sister would buy the Star Wars figures, and she would sell them to me for chores, right? So she would have like the Yoda, and she's like, all right, if you want Yoda, you've got to do my chores for like 3 weeks. And I would be, all right, I'll do the chores for 3 weeks. And then she would, it was like a currency for her. So, and she laughs to this day. And so then she would barter the Star Wars away from me if I needed some money or something, and then she'd sell them back at a higher price. I basically had a pawn shop living in my house for the entire 80s. And let's see, what other toys? I mean, I'm a toy creator. I have a toy, you know, I own a toy company. So the toys have been in my life my entire life, right? You know, so I started off with more like the action figures, and then gravitated to like collectible toys, and then art toys, and then what I you know, video game toys and stuff like that. And that's what I do now.
So what were, I guess, the first collectibles that you started collecting as a kid?
Let me see. Oh, I'll tell you one that I really got in dark and deep was the Muscle Man. You guys remember Muscle?
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
I
Muscle.
remember that, since it was out though. You just jarred crazy memories. That's crazy.
Yeah, Muscle, Garbage Pail Kids were a thing for a while with me. And there was another crazy one that I can't remember the name of it, but it was these little collectible monsters, and then they came with pieces that you put together. Oh, I tell you, the thing that I really went hard on is oh god, what were they called? Creepy something. There was like, you build your own. They came with a mold, and do you remember that? And
I
don't. That commercial. You remember the commercial?
Yeah,
Joe?
yeah, Creepy Crawlies, I think it was called. And
you're killing me right now.
Yeah, so those, man, those I spent a lot, because you would get I don't know, it probably was super dangerous for kids, but it was this goop, and you would put it, Creepy Crawlies, and you would pour it into the mold, and you could mix it up.
Then like his eye could pop out and the ooze used to come out. I think they showed it in the commercial.
Yep. And so then I got into the collectible. I mean, I tell you, man, toys. Yeah, toys were a thing with me. Then I got into the color forms. I don't remember. Do you remember color forms, where it was the vinyl, and then you could have little scenes, and then you'd have like Batman, and then you would do fight scenes, and it would like stick to the.
Man. You talking about the film paper?
The film paper, yeah, color forms, yeah.
Killing me right now, bro.
Bro, toy professional right here. It's a toy professional.
Oh.
And then my thing became like in the mid 80s, they started releasing these little robots, these white robots, and Sears had one, and it was like $300 and every day. It was called Omnibot. And
I remember that.
Omnibot, and it was like, it looked like R2D2 a little bit, but it had, you put a little cassette tape in it, and you could program it.
Right.
and I saved up, and I finally got that thing. And I mean, it wasn't as cool as you thought it was going to be, but it was pretty cool. I was obsessed with like toys that had utility, like that could bring you your breakfast in the morning. And so I would set the toast in the little robot and then program it to like come to my room at like 9:30 in the morning. And I thought that was the coolest thing ever. But yeah, I think anything space related, anything fantasy related. I collected I can't remember the freaking collectible monsters that you like put the arms and the legs in, and you would create all kinds of stuff. And then when I was real young, I had like an obsession with the Smurfs, man. Really young, like a Snorks and the Smurfs. I had like every freaking Smurf there was to and if you see my artwork now, you can kind of see where the Smurfs had a big influence, especially some of the stuff in my toy company. The Smurfs had a big 80s cartoons had a big impact on me, I think, from an artistic standpoint.
So speaking of, I've linked Beluga's base link to his Opensea collection. So just in case, if you don't know, if you're not familiar with the collection, it's pinned. You can go ahead and take a look and hurry back because you may miss something. Something So, all right. So we spoke about toys. Obviously, you're big on toys. I do want to circle back in a few minutes, but I want to first ask about cartoons. What cartoons did you watch? I can imagine that it's pretty much the same ones I watch, but let's see.
Well, I really loved the D&D one. Do you remember the D&D one with the little with the four, like the old man that was the wizard and the unicorn and the mage and all that? I freaking loved that show. And I loved, like I said, I loved the Smurfs. I watched Sesame Street until it was until I was way too old. Like people could joke me, but that's still some good content. If you really go back and like take your male ego away and watch that stuff, Grover is freaking hilarious. Right.
Yeah. I was just thinking about Grover the other day too.
If you even today, there's this one episode of Grover where he's sitting with the guy and the guy's ordering hamburgers and he's like, nah, I want a bigger hamburger. So he brings him a little bigger hamburger. No, I want a bigger. And then he brings this hamburger that's like the size of a Volkswagen and he busts through the wall. You got to watch that because that's some classic Grover stuff. Grover had so many jobs, right? Everything that I think I looked it up recently, but Grover had like 60 to 70 professions. Like he's been everything that you can imagine. So, so I did watch Sesame Street way longer. I loved Fraggle Rock.
That was a good show.
Fraggle Rock was amazing. I got into because what else did I really love? I mean, of course, I loved like Hanna-Barbera stuff. I liked Scooby-Doo.
Anybody here? You guys into the Dark Crystal at all?
Oh my God, super Dark Crystal fan. Like super. It didn't hold up. Oh, like if you watch it now, you'd be like, oh, this is a little slow.
It doesn't. I heard they like try to reboot it
the reboot was so good. It was amazing. Really? It's freaking amazing. And Netflix made the it was called, I can't remember, but they only did one season and they did not renew the season. So it was, if you like it, enjoy it while it lasted. But if you can imagine taking the world of Dark Crystal and really fleshing out the kind of ambiguity that was there, because you're like, what are these creatures? They went back and they really cleaned it up. And so, yeah, Dark Crystal, I was huge. I really liked the Black Cauldron, but that was a movie. But so man,
Okay.
I could, yeah.
No, we can go with movies.
Mm.
What about
Yeah,
movies? What are your favorite movies of all time?
Favorite movies. Dark Crystal was my favorite movie up until I watched it as an adult. If you would have asked me, I love Gremlins. Early Gremlins. In fact, that kind of goes back to one summer I got so obsessed because my friend, I was a little bit of a gullible kid because I lived in the country in Georgia. So my friends told, this is a crazy story. I can't believe I'm telling you this. So my friend told me that they had a Gremlins toy that was a Mogwai. You know what a Mogwai is, right?
yes,
Who Gizmo is,
yeah.
and that it was the toy would actually randomly turn into a gremlin. And so I called every store known to man. I said, "Hey, do you have the gremlin that turns into the Mogwai that turns into the gremlin?" First of all, it's Georgia, and they had no freaking clue what a Mogwai is or a gremlin. So I was calling every toy store under God's creation, and this kid had been like joking me the entire time. So I spent my entire summer like trying to find this fake
Gremlin toy.
toy. Yeah. So yeah, Gremlins, all clearly all the Star Wars, so many things, man, just so many. I I grew up on a farm and there wasn't a whole lot to do except watch MTV and cartoons and HBO. And so yeah.
No, I totally get that. I totally get that. What about current shows? Do you have any favorite current TV shows?
And I don't, I honestly, with the toy company and everything else, I don't get to watch that much stuff at all. I think I watched some stuff, but I really, let's say before the toy company and Beluga Bay took off, I was a huge Adventure Time fan.
Mm.
Yeah, Adventure Time. I liked Steven Universe for a little while. Gravity Falls. What are some other things? I like some anime, but not a whole lot. It's a little bit too. I don't know. I think I just aged out of anime a little bit. I like anything with mechs in it. I like so yeah. I think the biggest thing that has stuck with me as an adult as far as a cartoon would be Adventure Time. That's probably influenced my art style the most. Yeah.
So I know that obviously you're into a lot of the same cartoon shows from back in the day, movies, and video games. I know for me, video games were a big thing. I'm a late '90s kid, also. I'm not '90s, '70s. I was born in the late '70s. So what are your favorite video games you remember playing?
Anything on Atari 2600. I think I own the entire collection. Atari 2600, and then ColecoVision, early SNES. And then I went away to college when like the good Nintendos came out, right? So I missed some very good years of gaming. I went from like old school NES to then the first thing I really got back into was the GameCube, and I played the heck out of GameCube. Clearly, a lot of us did. Then all of the PlayStations up until I think, all of the basically any game that was popular in our lifetimes, I've at least dabbled in to some degree, because my I have a in my day job is like indie game developer, so I've had to keep up with that as a a game creator, and so a lot of it was just kind of like work research, but I also just love games too. So
yeah, man. You mentioned GameCube. I remember I was stuck playing the Resident Evil game that was on that. I don't remember what number it was, but my goodness, that game right there was an exclusive. You only could get it at first for like the first whatever it was on GameCube. I remember I got the GameCube just to play that game.
mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah,
right.
I love the game. The GameCube, it was incredible. Pikmin, I don't know if you played Pikmin. I was a huge Pikmin junkie. Of course, all of the Smash Brothers for a while. Final Fantasies, of course, have probably changed my life to some degree.
So, okay, so now obviously you have the toy company and whatnot. Is there like a specific collectible that you like to have that, or seek, that you collect, or you kind of I just collect anything that's toy related?
Well, I really I went kind of crazy on back in the early 2000s with expensive art toys. I collected people that a lot of people have never heard from. A lot of smaller run, like only 500 of them were ever made. So like right now I'm looking at my toy, Frank Kozik, I collect some Labbit stuff. I don't even know. A lot of the toys that I have now, I don't even remember the artist names. Is that because it was so early 2000? It's like 22 years ago when I was really collecting.
It's hard to know who's going to emerge and still be around 20 years later.
Yeah, there's still. I mean, the Frank Kozik is still in the He's in the NFT space, right? So and he released some stuff on Polygon, which I'm really excited about. And then I got into some Japanese capsule toys, collecting that. A lot of my aesthetics for toys is usually kind of like cute based. I collect cute stuff, and that's kind of goes through to my. I'm a little bit of a odd duck when it comes to my friend group. I'm definitely the one that has the more cutesy collectibles, and my friends are all more like Gundam and all that stuff. So they're always like, okay, well, there's your collection. I mean, and I don't care. I mean, people try to joke me about it, but I do collect cute stuff. Like it's kind of like my thing, whether that's my my love for the 80s shining through. I think that really is. But most recently, I got into collectible card games for a while, and that was about 20 years ago. So I probably have $100,000 worth of Pokemon cards sitting right here.
Oh my God!
Easily.